Long, long ago, in a land far away, two mighty armies stood poised for battle. On one side, the Philistines, fierce and full of bluster. On the other, the people of Israel, led by their king Saul. They faced each other across a wide, dusty valley called Elah, the air thick with tension and the smell of fear. Day after day, a chilling silence hung between them, broken only by a terrifying voice. From the Philistine camp emerged a giant of a man named Goliath. He was immense, clad in heavy bronze armor that gleamed under the sun. His spear was like a mighty tree trunk, and a shield-bearer walked before him. Goliath's voice boomed across the valley, a thunderous roar filled with contempt. He mocked the Israelites and their God, challenging them to send just one man to fight him. He declared that the fate of both armies would rest on this single combat. For 40 agonizing days, Goliath's taunts echoed, stealing the hope and courage from the Israelite soldiers. Even King Saul, their tall and powerful leader, shrank in fear, unable to find a champion. Their hearts were heavy, their spirits crushed by the giant's terrifying presence. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, a young shepherd boy named David tended his flock. He spent his days in peaceful, sun-drenched fields, perhaps playing gentle tunes on his lyre for his sheep. He was a picture of innocence and calm. But David was not just a dreamer. He was brave and resourceful. He had protected his sheep from hungry lions and bears, not with brute force, but with quick thinking and a simple sling. This quiet strength was a secret only he and his flock knew. David carried a deep, unwavering faith in God, a quiet conviction that was his true power. He knew that God was always with him, guiding his path and strengthening his heart. This faith was more powerful than any armor. One day, David's father sent him to the battlefield, carrying provisions for his older brothers. He arrived at the Israelite camp, a whirlwind of dust and despair. The sight of his people's fear and the sound of Goliath's blasphemies filled him with shock. His innocent curiosity quickly turned to righteous indignation. How could this uncircumcised Philistine defy the armies of the living God? His youthful heart burned with a fierce sense of justice. He couldn't understand why everyone was so terrified, why no one would stand up. He listened to Goliath's insults, his heart aching for his people and for the honor of God. He knew something had to be done. David voiced his outrage, questioning why no one would answer Goliath's challenge. His brothers, older and more cynical, mocked him, telling him to go back to his sheep. They saw only a naive boy, not a budding hero. But David's words reached King Saul, who summoned the young shepherd. Saul saw a mere boy, small and unarmed, standing before a seasoned king. The contrast between David's youth and the giant's might was stark and unsettling. Saul tried to equip David with his own royal armor, but it was far too heavy and cumbersome for the boy. It symbolized a burden David was not meant to carry, a battle he would fight on his own terms. David declared he could not fight with it. David calmly removed the heavy, ill-fitting armor, realizing his strength lay elsewhere. He walked to a nearby brook, not seeking weapons of war, but tools of his trade. With careful intention, he selected 5 smooth, perfectly round stones. He placed these stones into his shepherd's pouch, his heart resolute. His chosen weapon was his simple sling, a tool he knew intimately, one he had used to protect his precious flock from danger. It was an extension of his own skill and faith. This act was not born of foolishness, but of confidence in his unique abilities and divine guidance. He stepped onto the battlefield, a small figure against a massive threat, armed only with faith, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. David walked confidently towards Goliath, a beacon of courage against a mountain of muscle. Goliath scoffed at the sight of him, insulted that Israel would send a mere boy with a staff to face him. He cursed David by his gods, but David's voice rang out, clear and strong, across the valley. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin," he declared, his words filled with unwavering conviction. "But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." This was not just a battle of strength, but a battle of belief. David ran forward, swift and agile, without hesitation. He reached into his pouch, took out a stone, and placed it in his sling. The air whirred as the sling spun with incredible speed. With perfect aim and divine guidance, David released the stone. It flew through the air, a small but mighty missile, striking Goliath precisely on his forehead. The impact was sudden and jarring, silencing the giant's roar. Goliath stumbled, his massive frame shaking the earth as he crashed to the ground. A collective gasp rose from both armies. The impossible had happened. The giant had fallen, brought down by a shepherd boy. David, seizing the moment, ran to the fallen giant. He drew Goliath's own massive sword, a weapon of immense power now turned against its owner. With a decisive act, he finished the battle, severing the giant's head and sealing the victory. The Philistine army, seeing their champion defeated, cried out in terror and fled in disarray. The Israelites, emboldened by David's incredible courage, let out a mighty roar and surged forward, pursuing their fleeing enemies. The tide of battle had turned. David stood victorious, holding Goliath's head, a powerful symbol of faith overcoming fear. His courage had transformed despair into triumph, demonstrating that true strength comes not from physical might, but from a steadfast heart and unwavering belief. He became a hero, a king in the making. This incredible story reminds us that even the smallest among us can overcome the greatest challenges. We all face our own giants in life, whether they are fears, big problems, or difficult choices. But with courage, preparation, and unwavering faith, we can stand tall and achieve what seems impossible. So, remember David, the brave shepherd boy, and find your own strength within. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales of courage and inspiration.